We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
.906 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You need a water filtration system or a water softener, you get those at betterwater.com. Very excited. We got a big show for you today. Monica Page is joining us live from the White House North Lawn at 10:05. Plus, we're going to have Paul Winkler joining the show in the 11 o'clock hour, 11:05 to be exact. Paul's going to break down a new executive order from Donald Trump that is going to allow you to put real estate and crypto into your 401k. Is this good? Is this bad? I have no idea. So we're going to have an expert on to talk to us about it. Very excited about that. Also, spoiler alert, I'm very excited to just get through the show today. My family has been gone for over a week now. They've been doing a homeschool trip in D.C. and all this. And after the show today, I'm rushing to the airport, and I'm going to get on a flight, and I'm going to go meet up with those guys.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's been a tough week. It's been a tough week.
You ready to see your family again?
I'm ready to see the fam.
Understandable.
It's been lonely. And I need my wife's cooking back. I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, you were telling me a little bit off air.
Basically, all I've been eating is like taco meat over rice. And I'm just going to let you know, a leftist who's worried about the climate would shut me down if they knew what was going on in my house because of all the taco meat and rice I've been eating. Just full disclosure. Maybe TMI. I'm ready for some good eating. So we got a lot to get to today, and I appreciate you being here. However you are here, whether you're listening on the FM dial, the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the 99.7 WTN app, or whether you're watching us on a multiple platforms up to and including YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Do appreciate it when you do so. Did you see the new reel that I made for the YouTube short on the Super Talk page? Did you see that one, Mason? It's about EBT. A lot of EBT videos going viral. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Dude, there's so many. Everybody's upset because they're getting to the register, and then they're trying to buy sweets and sodas.
Oh, wait, I did see one yesterday.
And then they're getting shut down.
Yeah.
They're getting shut down. So I did a short for the YouTube page, and it's a little Oliver Anthony remix.
It's so good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
so
good. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. One thing that I'm definitely going to ask Monica Page about is this peace deal that we got. We got another peace deal. Donald Trump has ended another war. Not Russia-Ukraine, though we do have updates on that. This peace deal is between Azerbaijan and what's the other country? What's the other country? There's two countries. It's Azerbaijan and Armenia. Sorry. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Could you pick out Azerbaijan on a map, Mason? Be honest.
No.
I couldn't.
No, I couldn't.
Could not.
I thought I was good at geography. Turns out I can't find my way home without a GPS.
I have no idea.
No.
But that's 7 peace deals in 7 months for the president of the United States. This is unbelievable. Donald Trump posting this on his True Social last night. He's going to be hosting these guys today at the White House. I look forward to hosting the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev. That's pretty good.
I'm proud of you. That was good.
And I was confident the whole time.
Hey, as you should be.
So even if I butchered it, the audience wouldn't know. Ilham Aliyev and the Prime Minister of Armenia, Nicole Pashinyan. Nicole.
And there it goes.
Sorry. I was really
you started
close.
so strong.
I was really doing good.
I had faith in you.
I'm only a sentence into this True Social post, and I've lost half the audience. Damn. But he said, I look forward to hosting the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, and the Prime Minister of Armenia, Nicole Pashinyan, at the White House tomorrow for a historic peace summit. This True Social post came out last night. The summit is going to be today. These two nations have been at war for many years, resulting in the deaths of thousands of people. Many leaders have tried to end the war with no success until now, thanks to, all caps, Trump. My administration has been engaged with both sides for quite some time. Tomorrow, President Aliyev and Prime Minister Pashinyan will join me at the White House for an official peace signing ceremony. The United States will also sign bilateral agreements with both countries to pursue economic opportunities together, so we can fully unlock the potential of the South Caucasus region. No, the South Caucasus? Caucasus. What do you got? What do you
I think
think?
it's Caucasus.
Caucasus. The South Caucasus.
That sounds right.
Man, really got to work on these before I hit the air.
Nah.
I'm very proud of these courageous leaders for doing the right thing. The great people of Armenia, for the great people of Armenia and Azerbaijan. It will be a historic day for Armenia, Azerbaijan, and the United States and the world. See you then, DJT. So when this peace summit breaks out, we'll be covering it for you. Monica Page is live at the White House. She'll be breaking down all of the excitement that's happening there as they unveil the 7th peace deal of this. Now, Reuters had a write-up, and they put it like this. When Donald Trump welcomes the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan to the White House on Friday, the meeting will culminate in the signing of a peace framework that includes exclusive U.S. development rights to a strategic transit corridor through the South Caucasus, officials told Reuters. Armenia and Azerbaijan have been at odds since the 1980s. 1980s. Both Armenia and Azerbaijan won independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. A peace deal could transform the South Caucasus, an energy-producing region neighboring Russia, Europe, Turkey, and Iran that is crisscrossed by oil and gas pipelines, but rive enclosed by borders and long-standing ethnic conflicts. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev and Armenian Prime Minister Nicole Pashinyan are to join the president at the White House for talks and the signing ceremony, U.S. officials said, speaking on the condition of anonymity. They're going to sign a framework aimed at reaching a concrete pathway to peace and addressing a long-simmering transit issue, the official said. Azerbaijan has asked for a transport corridor through Armenia, linking the bulk of its territory to Nakhchivan. Eastern European countries are the hardest to pronounce. Butchered it. This is an Azerbaijani enclave that borders Baku's ally, Turkey. Under a carefully negotiated section of the documents the leaders will sign on Friday, Armenia plans to award the United States exclusive special development rights for an extended period on a transit corridor that will be named, get ready for this, you ready for this? You know what they're going to name it? The Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity. They're naming a transport corridor after Trump.
Oh, wow.
And known by the acronym TRIP, T-R-I-P-P. The official said, the route will be operated according to Armenian law, and the United States will sublease the land to a consortium for infrastructure and management. So we're going to make money on this deal. Through the commercial means, this step will unlock the region and avert further hostilities, one of the officials said. The Armenian and Azerbaijani leaders will also sign documents requesting the dissolution of the Minsk Group, which has been co-chaired by France, Russia, and the United States since its establishment in 1992 to mediate the conflict. Progress on the Armenian-Azerbaijan issue began in March with U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff visiting the region. Members of his team made several subsequent trips there to help broker the agreement. U.S. officials believe a peace deal between Armenia and Azerbaijan could prompt negotiations on the entry of Azerbaijan into the Abraham Accords, the series of normalization agreements that Trump brokered between Israel and 4 Muslim-majority countries in his first term. The White House summit comes as Trump has tried to present himself as a global peacemaker. So this is Reuters writing this up. Tried to present himself as a global peacemaker? Tried? You mean has been a global peacemaker. This is the 7th peace deal of the Donald Trump administration thus far. We're averaging one a month. One a month. Now, there is a big elephant in the room when it comes to peace deals. That is going to be Russia and Ukraine. Donald Trump did talk about that yesterday, and he says, we're getting there. We're getting there. But there's no condition that Putin is going to need to meet with Zelensky before he meets with Donald Trump. This was the Oval Office yesterday. Oh, sorry. Hang on one second. Here we go.
Does Putin have to meet with Zelensky in order and before you and Putin have to meet? Or are you
No.
Are you
So you're willing to, that's actually important because President Putin said this morning he was pretty dismissive of this idea of meeting with President
Who was?
Zelensky. President Putin was.
I don't know. I didn't hear
For you
him.
to meet with him, he doesn't have to agree to meet with Zelensky. Is that what you're saying?
No, he doesn't. No.
So when do you think that meeting?
They would like to meet with me, and I'll do whatever I can to stop the killing. So last month, they lost 14,000 people killed last month. Every week is 4,000 or 5,000 people. So I don't like long waits. I think it's a shame. And they're mostly soldiers. They're Ukrainian and Russian soldiers, and some people from the cities where, missiles are lobbed in and you'll lose 35, 40 people a night, which is terrible. But no, mostly it's soldiers, and you're talking about, on average, 20,000 a month. 20,000 people are dying a month, generally young people.
So Donald Trump wants to end that conflict. He's wanted to end that conflict for a while. I mean, obviously, you got to get Russia and you got to get Ukraine on board. He was also asked yesterday, is the deadline still standing for Russia? We're technically, I believe today is day 9 on that 10-day deadline. So he was asked about that yesterday. Donald Trump responded.
Mr. President, is your deadline for Vladimir Putin agreeing to a ceasefire still stand tomorrow? Or is that fluid now that talks are?
What?
Is your deadline still standing for Vladimir Putin to agree to a ceasefire tomorrow, or is that fluid now?
It's going to be up to him.
And
We're going to see what he has to say. It's going to be up to him. Very disappointed. Yeah.
do you have
That last line, I don't know, activated the almonds. Very disappointed. Okay. Maybe you're posturing before you go into talks, but we'll see what happens. If anybody can bring peace to that conflict, it is going to be the president of peace and prosperity. It's going to be Donald J. Trump. And I do pray that peace is what they come to, because the killing is just senseless. I mean, how long have they been at a standstill in Ukraine? How long? It's a meat grinder on that border. Stop it, please. And let's get back to peace and prosperity. If anybody can do it, it is Donald Trump. Elsewhere in the world, the Trump administration is making moves, man. I saw this last night, and I'll be honest with you, my first instant reaction was like, okay, do we really need to do this? I'll break it down. All right. The Trump administration is offering a $50 million reward for info leading to the arrest of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. There was a video that got dropped last night, Pam Bondi, saying that the Justice Department is going to be offering up to $50 million leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. Now, part of me is like, okay, why do we need to do this? Don't we have intelligence agencies that could do this, that we're already paying taxpayer money for? It's very confusing, but let's listen to this audio from Pam Bondi. She dropped this on her Twitter account last night.
Today, the Department of Justice and State Department are announcing a historic $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring deadly drugs and violence into our country. To date, the DEA has seized 30 tons of cocaine linked to Maduro and his associates, with nearly 7 tons linked to Maduro himself, which represents a primary source of income for the deadly cartels based in Venezuela and Mexico. Cocaine is often laced with fentanyl, resulting in the loss and destruction of countless American lives. The DOJ has seized over $700 million of Maduro-linked assets, including 2 private jets, 9 vehicles, and more.
So, if he's that bad, wouldn't it just be cheaper to drone strike him? I mean, like, let's be honest. So, like, wouldn't it? How much does a drone missile cost? Is it less than $50 million? Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be just easier? I don't know. What am I missing? What am I missing? Why do we need information? Why aren't our intel agencies doing this?
Yet Maduro's reign of terror continues. He is one of the largest narco traffickers in the world and a threat to our national security.
So bomb him, right? What am I missing? I'm honestly, I'm very perplexed by this. Like, okay, let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of him. I said for a while, even, during all the conflicts that are going, you want the American people to support a war? Let's go after the narcos and the drug traffickers in South America. If Nicolas Maduro is doing the things that you say he's doing, and he's pushing cocaine laced with fentanyl into the country, he's using TDA to destabilize the country, take him out, right? Like, what am I missing? What am I missing? Why are we offering a $50 million reward? I just, is that just me? Is that just me? What am I missing? Mason, am I missing anything? I don't think I'm missing anything.
I don't know.
$50 million. You could just bomb them, right? I feel like you could just bomb them. What do you think? 615-737-9986. What am I missing from this story? Honestly. The Justice Department and State Department are announcing a $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. He's using TDA to destabilize America, pushing cocaine laced with fentanyl into this country. So take him out. I feel like that's the easiest thing to do, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Your reaction on the way. Plus, we got updates to bring you when it comes to the Texas redistricting. That fight is not going anywhere. We do have conservative states going on offense. Not Tennessee, though. Weird. We'll talk about it. It's 9:22. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Well, it's back to school time. Rutherford, first day of school today. Well, you got to get your teachers of your kids something good, right? How about a Beehive Club membership? That's the perfect way to grease the wheels. Other kids are bringing in apples and flowers. Don't do that. Bring a Beehive Club membership. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is going to hook you up with this great deal for a local teacher, coach, or faculty member at a local school in our service area. You buy one, you gift one. It's that simple. You get a Beehive Club membership, you get to give a Beehive Club membership. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is always bringing the buzz with these great savings, these great giveaways. And right now, if you got septic issues, it's the time to act. You can get 15% off any septic work, main drain lines, or whole home repipes just in time for the new school year. You can also upgrade your HVAC system and get entered to win the Healthy Hive giveaway, which is going to be a $1,500 sponsorship to the local school of your choice. Now, all you got to do to get the ball rolling on these great deals and giveaways is give Busy Bee a call today. 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, or find them online, busybeehvac.com.
An early morning pedestrian crash closes a busy roadway, and road work may be causing you some headaches over the weekend. We've got all of that and more coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Shout out to everybody on the text line. Nathan from Busy Bee, he's rolling around. He's got his oldest son with him today, Jacob. What up, Nathan? What up, Jacob? Love you guys. Appreciate you guys listening. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening. We're talking about Nicolas Maduro. And I said, what am I missing? And everybody on the text line, you guys are the best. The best. We took $700 million from Maduro. We're using his money, and we'll have $650 left over. Got it. They want his own people to turn on him. Okay. Somebody said, if that's the case, why can't we just take out Putin? And I said, why don't we just drone strike him? Putin has nukes. It changes the equation a little bit, just a little bit. Steve on the road, what do you think, man?
I'm thinking maybe somebody in his inner circle may take the bait on this. I don't know if they're actually going to pay him or not. I mean, I don't know how that works, but it seems like they're trying to. I think if they was going to drone strike him, they would kind of know where he was, or either that would be kind of. Maybe that's illegal.
Do you have a hard time believing that they don't actually know where he is, though? I think that's where my hang-up is. With all the intel assets that we have all over the globe, the CIA, the NSA, et cetera, to say that we don't know where the leader of that country is, I feel like I don't know if I necessarily believe that.
Maybe we legally can't do it, or either they want to actually capture him to bring him in for more information and to put him on trial and to put him away. Maybe that could be it, but I think they're offering the $50 million up to see if somebody close to him in his inner circle will help out in nabbing him, grabbing him and nabbing him.
Maybe. You could be right, Steve. I appreciate the call, as always. The one thing I do know is that currently in that region, they have an unprecedented opportunity for peace and prosperity. We're seeing that all over the world. You got leaders popping up with Javier Milei, Nayib Bukele. There is a real opportunity in South America for some peace and prosperity if these countries get the right leadership in. And if you get the right leadership in, you're going to be supported by America. So maybe that's part of the equation. Let's get his own people to do it, and then we can help them out. Could be. 9:30 at Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's now 9:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and we still have that long-running problem on 65 northbound this morning in Thompson Stations. It's just past Thompson Station Road overpass. It's a truck fire from overnight, and it's still blocking off the right shoulder and causing a big delay behind it. A pedestrian was struck and killed early this morning in Christiana. This happened on Shelbyville Highway at 231. That is Route 231, around 5:30 this morning. The southbound lanes closed for hours as police investigated. That area is home to two schools, Christiana Middle School and Elementary School. The roadway is now reopened. On a judge's order, Metro Nashville police padlocked a South Nashville bar that they declared a public nuisance. Police said that they have responded to calls at the 404 Bar and Grill on Elysian Fields Road 123 times over the past 5 years. During a raid yesterday, illegal gambling machines were found, and Channel 4's Alexandria Adams tells us there's more.
Police telling us that they found body armor, which they believe was worn by unlicensed security guards. That business is also accused of selling beer to underage guests. It will be shut down until at least Monday, when a court hearing is scheduled. The bar owners and operators are not allowed on the property.
And got a heads up for some road work that'll cause delays over the weekend. Construction crews will begin to work repairing a bridge over I-24 at Haywood Lane in Antioch tonight. TDOT will close 3 eastbound lanes starting tonight at 8 p.m. and they'll finish around 5 a.m. on Sunday. It's part of a larger project to resurface I-24 from Haywood Lane to the Rutherford County line. Stocks are running higher. The Dow Jones Industrial's up 245 right now. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
937, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. You want to take a little trip down memory lane? Mason, you want to take a little trip down memory lane?
I'm here for it. I love memory lane.
We're celebrating a three-year anniversary or something. Do you know what we're celebrating the 3-year anniversary of?
No, what are we celebrating?
That time that Merrick Garland sent the FBI to raid Melania Trump's underwear drawer.
Oh, that kind of
There
thing.
are, however, certain points I want you to know. First, I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
Oh, now when everybody's crying about the weaponization of the DOJ, oh, Trump's weaponizing lawfare. Just remember what happened 3 years ago. Remember what they did to 4547 and tell them to kick rocks. I had to like severely edit myself right there. Did you see that? Did you catch that? If
I
you
could
watch
hear it, man.
If you're watching on the stream.
Ooh.
I was like, I almost said a few different things. Like,
Thank you.
I went through the Rolodex in my head of like what I'm allowed to say, and I landed on kick rocks. It's the most appropriate. It's the most appropriate.
Keep it a PG.
We gotta
Follow
we
them
gotta.
SEC.
They do. They cry about it though. Oh my gosh, Trump. It's like, do you just amnesia? Like the guys from Men in Black hit you with a little laser pen thing, and you don't know what happened the last 4 years.
Yeah, just looking to the light here.
Yeah, kick rocks. I'm just
stick with that one.
3 years. 3 years.
Wild.
Think about how far we've come. Think about the fact that we're not even at full strength yet. And while Biden and those knuckleheads were wasting time doing stuff like that, Donald Trump has used the first 7 months of his administration to bring in $17 trillion of investments. The Biden administration could never. He's gotten 7 peace deals. We're going to see the 7th signed today at the White House between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And it's been unbelievable. And we are not even at full strength yet. So I'm excited. I'm excited about what's to come in the future. The big fight in front of us currently is the Texas redistricting. And this is a conversation that's not going to go anywhere until Texas completes what they signed up to do. Now, Greg Abbott was on yesterday with, I believe this is Dana Loesch, and he did confirm that the FBI currently is out there looking for those Texas Democrats.
Here's what we're doing. One is we have arrest warrants out for all of them. If there are some in Texas, which I understand that there may be, the Texas Department of Public Safety is searching for them. We'll find them, and we'll arrest them and take them to the Texas Capitol.
If you're a Texas Democrat and you chose to hide in Texas after all of this, terrible at hide and seek. Terrible.
Those who are out of state think that they are beyond the reach of Texas law enforcement, and that they may or may not be. But for one, when they come back, they're not going to go to their cozy home. They will be arrested and taken to the Capitol.
Here's some new bracelets. Come to work.
But know this, it's my understanding that the FBI is going to search for these derelict Texas House members in whatever state they may be in and help identify for them and maybe work with us to bring them back. Point one.
And we saw yesterday Senator John Cornyn confirming that he does have Kash Patel's FBI out there looking for these derelict Democrats who are doing everything they can to just mess with the state of Texas and not allow this redistricting to go through. You're going to hear a lot of Democrats that will tell you they play by the rules. It's fair when they gerrymander, but the way these Texas Republicans are doing it, oh, it's completely unfair. They're cheating, and they shouldn't be allowed to do this. Greg Abbott isn't putting up with that at all.
Point two is these Democrats, they have received money and benefits at their request to support them while they're gone. It is a direct violation of the Texas Constitution as well as Texas bribery laws for them to receive a benefit to skip a vote. They could be charged with second-degree felony for committing bribery in the state of Texas. Third, and it happened yesterday, I filed a petition in the Texas Supreme Court that begins the removal process of these absconding Democrat members. And the Supreme Court responded immediately last night and told the leading Democrat in this cause, his name is Gene Wu, that he has to respond to my petition by Friday, where we're going to begin the process of trying to remove these absconding Democrats from office.
I mean, let's go. So not only did you play yourself, we're having the FBI look for you. You're going to be investigated for bribery because we think that you may or may not have received some financial benefit for running away from the state of Texas. And we're also looking into how to remove you from your job. And you got to respond by today, or we're gonna get the ball rolling on that. Love it. Love it. Keep the foot on the gas. Don't let these Democrats get away with it. They do this stuff all over the country. You've seen the map of Illinois. You've seen what Massachusetts is. We've talked about the percentages of Republicans in states like California versus how many Republican representatives they have. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. We do see some states going on offense. One of those states is Florida, and Florida is going to try and redraw their map and possibly add another Republican seat. They're looking into redistricting now. I love that they're going on offense, and I hope and pray that we have some Tennessee politicians that are looking into the exact same thing. How can we get another seat? How can we go on offense? Because the Democrats are. Florida has launched a select committee to look into that redistricting. Florida House Speaker Daniel Perez announced the creation of a select committee on congressional redistricting in the state. This is coming as Texas is moving to institute a mid-decade redistricting effort, saying, as many of you are aware, there are national conversations ongoing in other states related to midterm redistricting. Here in Florida, our state Supreme Court recent decision in Black Voters Matter Capacity Building Institute, Inc., versus Secretary Florida Department of State raises important and distinct questions about the applicability and interpretation of certain provisions of the so-called fair districts provisions of the Florida Constitution and their intersection with federal law, a memorandum from House Speaker Perez stated. He said that we don't have the capacity to engage in the full redistricting process experienced during the 2022 midterms, but Perez said that those running for Congress or those who have made statements about redistricting that suggest an intent to favor or disfavor an incumbent or political party would be disqualified from consideration for the Select Committee. Governor Ron DeSantis has said that he's looking very seriously at having a new congressional map in the state, stating, I've said that I would look favorably on the legislature taking it up. I would just say stay tuned on that. Texas Republicans currently attempting to pass a new congressional district map. You know the story. Everybody's upset about it. One of those people who are very, very upset about it is Kathy Hochul. Hochul? What is it? Is it Hochul?
I think it's Hochul, but I don't know.
I don't know. Even if we get it wrong, nothing of value was lost. Anyway, she was on MSNBC. She's on MSNBC, and she tells everybody, listen, Democrats, when they do this kind of stuff, they follow the rules. Republicans don't follow the rules. And now, because of that, Democrats are also not going to follow the rules. Get ready for a word salad. It's incoming.
This is how they're going to play the game. We're going to fight fire with fire. I didn't want to take on this fight. I've always followed the rules. Democrats always follow the rules.
Always follow the rules. Cue the Scott Jennings face when you break the fourth wall, right? Always. Democrats always follow the rules. We could have a whole segment just on that. Here we are, the third anniversary of the raid on Mar-a-Lago. Democrats always follow the rules, guys. You keeping score at home? Democrats always follow the rules.
But when they're willing to do this to subvert our democracy, shame on us if we don't stand up. They know they're going to be wiped out in the elections next year. Democrats will have a generational shift in our favor, but if they're going to break the rules, then I'm not going to follow the meter anymore. I'm sorry to say that. That actually hurts to say that.
Wait. Democrats always follow the rules. But if Republicans are going to break the rules, Democrats aren't going to follow the rules. And it pains Kathy Hochul to say that. It pains her. You understand this, right?
Actually, it hurts to say that. But I'm not going to go into a fight with my hands tied behind my back. That never works.
Okay. That's Governor Kathy Hochul. I don't know how they could gerrymander New York anymore, but she says, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Democrats always play by the rules. Always. In fact, they're looking forward to playing by the rules in the future too. James Carville, maybe you've heard of him, most notably for apologizing for the Melania Trump Epstein file after being threatened by the episode of his podcast after being threatened by lawyers. Dan was talking about that earlier on his show. But James Carville found himself an interview. This is on his podcast, and he was talking about what the Democrats need to do if they take power. And just to go back on what Kathy Hochul said, Democrats always follow the rules. They said if they gain power, this is the next steps the Democrats need to take.
If the Democrats win the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2028, which
big if, by the way,
which is not impossible. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's also not impossible that I would win the lottery. It's not impossible that, I don't know, somebody would come in here and gift Mason a Ferrari. Not out of the realm of possibility.
But slim to none.
Slim to none at the same time. Slim to none, let's be honest.
If you say likely or possible, I don't know what word you know, but it's certainly not impossible. They are just going to have to unilaterally add Puerto Rico and the District of Columbia states. They're going to have to, the Congress does give, the Constitution gives Congress power over federal elections. I don't think they can redistrict, but they're things they're going to do. They're going to have to do it. They're just going to have to do it. And they may have to expand the court to 13 members.
Yeah, Democrats always play by the rules. And renowned political strategist on the left, James Carville, says, we play by the rules all the time. In fact, we're going to play the rules so hard that if we win in 2028, Puerto Rico, D.C., they're going to become states, and we're going to expand the Supreme Court. That way, we never have to worry about the Republicans breaking rules ever again. Democrats will just be able to play by their own rules ad infinitum, right? He continues.
Any of those things in isolation, I would be skeptical about. I would be cautious about. I would say, well, I don't know if that's the greatest idea in the world. You're opening Pandora's box, or all kinds of things. If you want to save democracy, I think you got to do all of those things.
Got to save democracy, guys. Democrats always play by the rules. Republicans don't. So we have to save democracy. And we're going to do it by making D.C. a state, Puerto Rico a state, and expanding the Supreme Court to 13. Save democracy, because Democrats always play by the rules. Got it? You keeping score at home? Just write that down. Democrats always play by the rules. They do. They do. Meanwhile, Donald Trump wants a new census because, the Democrats playing by the rules counted a bunch of illegal aliens in the census the last time around, which we all know, we're all infuriated about. Donald Trump is as well, saying, I've instructed our Department of Commerce to immediately begin work on a new and highly accurate census based on modern-day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results and information gained from the presidential election of 2024. People who are in our country illegally will not be counted in the census. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Again, Democrats always play by the rules, right? Well, no. No. With the way they did the census, Stephen Miller breaks it down. Those Democrats playing by the rules, counting illegal aliens, gained 20 to 30 House seats via illegal aliens in the last census. Listen to this. This is Stephen Miller last night on Hannity.
New York, Massachusetts. Democrats have gerrymandered the vote beyond recognition to try to maintain their advantage in the House elections. On top of that, let's not forget, Democrats rigged the 2020 census by including illegal aliens. Remember, they sued Donald Trump. They sued the administration. They fought tooth and nail to include illegal aliens in the census. 20 to 30 of House Democrat seats wouldn't exist but for illegal aliens. Texas is taking just a small corrective step against this ocean of fraud, this ocean of abuse by the corrupt Democrat Party, Sean.
Yeah, and if they weren't able to count illegal aliens in the census, you would have seen representatives falling from California. We've seen the mass exodus. Maybe you would have seen, representatives falling from New York because we've seen the mass exodus. In fact, there's New York lawmakers, one especially from Brooklyn, who said she needed illegal aliens for redistricting. That literally saying we need them in our area for redistricting. We need to be able to count them and get them on the census because of, numbers. We've seen it over and over and over again. This is what the Democrats do when they're playing by the rules. We got a lot more on the way, including one Democrat who really objects to a new census. Rep. Ami Bera out of California, Democrat rep. Wait until you hear what he calls illegal aliens. It's really nice. It's really sugar-coated, really fluffed up. I'll bring you that when we get back. Don't forget, we also have Monica Page joining the show. That's coming at 10:05, where she joins us live from the White House North Lawn. Anything you want me to ask Monica about what's been going on at the White House this week, you can text it in, 615-737-9986. A lot more on the way. It's 9:52. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
What Nashville Metro Council voted on last night, and you're probably not going to like this one. Also, a nightmare on the seas. Those are coming up at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. It is 9:59 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name's Chris Hand. Hey, just a reminder, later on in the show, 11:05, Paul Winkler's going to join us. Donald Trump signed a new executive order. And in that executive order, he said you can add now real estate and crypto to your 401k. I don't really know what that means. I don't know. There's a reason why Paul Winkler's my financial guy, because he can break it down for me in a way that I can understand. So when I saw this last night, I immediately texted Paul. I was like, you want to come on and talk about this? He's like, absolutely. So we're going to talk to Paul in about an hour. Now, when we get back after the news with Joan Jones, we're going to be joined by our White House reporter, Monica Page, to break down everything that's been happening at the White House this past week, as she does every single week at this time. We go beyond the fence with Monica Page. I want to ask about Purple Heart Day. I want to ask about this peace deal that's coming to the White House today. And anything you want to ask, text it in, 615-737-9986. We'll talk to Monica Page when we get back. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
WWTN, Hendersonville, Nashville, from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
And the Mark Spain Real Estate WTN Newsroom. Information-fueled, opinion-driven.
This is Nashville's news and talk leader.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Americans may not agree on much, but we agree on Social Security. We all pay in. It ought to be there when we need it. Social Security could face a funding gap in less than a decade, and I don't want to see a pay cut. I'm with AARP in the fight to protect the social.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name's Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, or the FM dial. You can watch the show. We're on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like and subscribe. Our next guest joining us live from the White House North Lawn, Monica Page, Beyond the Fence. Monica, you are my favorite guest that comes on the show every week. I appreciate you so much. How are you?
Chris, you're my favorite show to do every week, so the feeling is mutual. I'm doing great. The weather is beautiful. This is probably the best day of the week, honestly. Not only because it's Friday, but because the weather is like oddly not too hot, which I love. I was sweating here all last week, and now we're finally cooling things off a little bit.
Well, all right. So I'm excited to talk to you. We got a peace summit coming to the White House today. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, this is massive. This is Armenia and Azerbaijan, or Azerbaijan, however you pronounce it. But this is huge. This is nearly 4 decades of fighting in the region. Both leaders of each nation are coming here to the White House, where President Trump is expected to sign a massive peace deal. Not only is it going to establish peace, but it's also going to open up any sort of economic opportunities to make sure that these regions are really living up to their full potential, that we can get some resources from these nations that maybe we haven't even considered previously. Additionally, the president is also expected to open up a brand new corridor route in the region of Azerbaijan. It's called TRIP, the Trump route for international peace and prosperity. That's what it's called. And it's going to be completely funded by private contractors. And this is what's going to be creating in kind of like this region. It's going to transport goods and materials and eventually people, but really exciting news and something that really just has never been done before.
Yeah, it's really amazing to watch the president negotiate these peace deals. And at the core of them, it's economic policy, it's trade, it's prosperity. And you're seeing a lot of these countries go, I want to be lifted up. Let's just get this done. And then let's get back to peace and prosperity. Have you seen this done with any other president, the way he's leveraging the economy and trade?
Absolutely not. I mean, this is 7 peace deals in 7 months, and it's unbelievable. I mean, the war was really ramping up between Armenia and Azerbaijan, I guess, like in 2020 and 2023, where Azerbaijan was kind of really increasing its assault on Armenians over there, the Christian population of Armenians, in 2020 and 2023 under Joe Biden. Again, we've seen that with Russia, Ukraine. We've seen it, with Cambodia and Thailand. A lot of problems happening overseas and across, just globally. And President Trump is the only guy who can come together and do it. He can do it right and say, listen, I'm not going to trade with you guys if you're going to keep killing each other, or I'm not going to try and put any trade deals on the table. If you're not going to try and benefit us and respect us as a nation as well, try and help you become the best that you can be. And there really hasn't been another president like this.
No, it's unbelievable to watch. Now, while he's getting peace deals abroad, D.C.'s been in a bit of turmoil. And I know you live in the area. Talk to me about the crime that you've seen in D.C. and what President Trump is doing to really eliminate the danger in that area.
It's such a shame, Chris, because D.C. is such a beautiful city. I mean, it's not only full of history, but just the architecture of some of these buildings here are really outstanding. Like, you don't see this kind of stuff in New York City or Chicago or any places like that. It's very much a unique place, Washington, D.C. Then, unfortunately, you've got these pockets throughout the city where it's just absolutely miserable. A lot of people that I know, a lot of young people live in this place called Navy Yard here in D.C., which is right near where the Washington Nationals play. And they say it's kind of like a conservative hub. A lot of conservatives live over there. But I would never set foot in Navy Yard unless I'm with a group of friends going to a baseball game. Yeah, because you're at the wrong place, the wrong time, on the wrong day of the week, and you're in the middle of a shootout, unfortunately. It's really horrible. And unfortunately, this is common. By Union Station train station is gorgeous in D.C. Unfortunately, it houses a lot of homeless, a lot of people on drugs, a lot of crime. So the president's really looking at saying, hey, if you're going to come visit the White House and be a guest here, it should be beautiful for you to see, our nation's capital. People shouldn't have to live like this, living in fear. Congress people have to get escorts to their cars because they're too afraid of what could possibly happen if they work too late. Same with their staffers. So the president's really trying to put the right people, police officers, in these pockets just to make sure that everything just remains safe and calm, because when you're in the nation's capital, you shouldn't have to be watching over your shoulder every move.
Yeah, 100%. Full disclosure, my wife and my 4 kids, they went with their grandparents. They were in D.C. all week, touring the state capitol and checking out the monuments. And I was like, wow, you guys are going to have a great time. And then as soon as they get there, all this news starts breaking. I'm like, oh, crap, should I have gone with them? And it's, you're biting your nails all week, but that shouldn't be like that in our nation's capital. Has there been any more talk about federalizing the police force from Donald Trump?
Yeah, the president's certainly looking at it. And I think that we'll expect to hear more of him talking about this in the coming weeks, especially if the crime report just still kind of stays the same. And the mayor of the city, Muriel Bowser, she doesn't care. I mean, the one thing she really cared about, or the last time she cared about anything, was implementing Black Lives Matter Plaza here right outside the White House. I mean, I can't remember any time that she truly cared about the safety of her own constituents, of her own residents here in this city. But the president finally taking matters into his own hands, because somebody's got to do it. And who better than President Trump? Because if he wants something done, he will make sure that it gets done.
So let me ask you personally, with the crime that you see in D.C., if you didn't have the gig that you have and you're not at the White House, you're not the reporter, would you live in that area? Would you raise a family in that area?
Absolutely not. Okay, so my first year that I lived here in D.C., I don't live in D.C. proper anymore because it's just gotten kind of out of control. It's gotten dirtier, it's gotten more crowded, and a lot more violence, as you just alluded to. But my first year living here, I was seeing a lot of that, and it grew very quickly. So I moved here, I would say, in 2023. By the time I moved out after a year, it got really crowded. It got really messy. I remember getting emails from my apartment complex saying that there was a shooting just across the street, and it was maybe every other weekend. And I was saying, what decision did I make to even live here? I mean, obviously close proximity to the White House, which is what I wanted.
Yeah.
But wow, what a difference a year makes under, a leadership that doesn't really care that much about crime. But now I live in Northern Virginia, and I will say it's nice. It's much more quiet, which I like. But it's brutal out here. It can be really, really tough.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Well, I hope things get better for you guys, because I don't want any our people getting hurt out there, and it just seems so silly. My wife was talking about what she's seen in D.C., and she's like, if it wasn't for the monuments and everything around, you'd have a hard time believing that you're in America.
Right, right. And the monuments are so beautiful. Like that's probably the most beautiful part of DC. And then you take one wrong turn, you're on one wrong street, and it doesn't even feel like you are seeing the beauty of DC like we just did, which is it's very upsetting. So I'm hoping that things can change very quickly.
Yeah, and it's like you always have these guests coming in. Yesterday, President Trump announced Purple Heart Day. So you have these incredible heroes, but these guys are a little bit up there in age, and like you do worry about these individuals coming to DC with all the crime. But I'd love to dig in a little bit on Purple Heart Day. What was that like yesterday, and what did the president announce?
Oh, it's wonderful. It was a nice celebration. Let me tell you, that room was packed with, Tulsi Gabbard was there, Pete Hegseth was there, the Veterans Affairs, Doug Collins was there. And then you've got so many. He honored nearly 100 Purple Heart recipients, and he made sure to tell some of the most compelling stories. And you had 3 of the Purple Heart recipients honored specifically because they sent their medals to President Trump when he was nearly assassinated in Butler, Pennsylvania last July. So that really meant a lot to him. And she said, you guys went through a lot more than I did. So all I can do is just give you a huge thank you. And then he signed a proclamation making August 7th National Purple Heart Day. So it's really a beautiful ceremony. And it's just nice for our heroes to be recognized and given the proper thank you and sense of gratitude that they deserve.
Amen. There was all the talk, especially during Biden. It's like, we get a whole month for Pride. But we don't celebrate our veterans and the heroes of this country enough. It does seem like Donald Trump is correcting that and correcting it quickly. So we started the week, Donald Trump up on the roof of the White House. As you're at the White House and you're going through your routines and you turn around and you see the president up on the roof. What runs through your mind?
Well, the first thing I goes through your mind is I gotta go see him. I gotta go ask him a question. I gotta see what he's up to. What's he doing? And this is, I'd say, about the second time so far in the last 7 months that he's done something like this. The first time he was kind of scoping out the North Lawn here where he was going to put the big, beautiful flagpole.
Yes.
But when you see him up on the roof, you say, what are you doing? And he said, I'm taking a walk. I'm just taking a little walk. I'm just, scoping out the scene. I think he wants to, of course, this won't be the side of the White House where he'll be putting the big, beautiful ballroom. That'll be the other side. But I think he wants to maybe add something to the roof of the press briefing room, that sort of area. He kind of made his hands in the shape of some kind of dome. Maybe he's thinking about adding something like that, or making maybe a corridor or a pathway to get to one side to the other. But he's always planning something. He's not shy of making a lasting legacy here at the White House.
Yeah, I saw him make the motion for a dome. Maybe we get like a nice glass dome. What other rumors are you hearing about construction at the White House? I mean, I know they've been remaking the Rose Garden. You got like a nice sitting area out there now. People are saying it looks a little bit more like Mar-a-Lago than the White House. Is there any rumors about what's coming next?
I'm hoping that the rumor next is expanding the press briefing room, because that room is a fire hazard, to say the least. It is jam-packed. And I think at the next press briefing, I'm going to ask if the president has any plans to move the briefings to another room or to expand the briefing room, because that would definitely be very helpful, especially since they just get so packed. But that would be a nice next project to work on. I believe next month is when the ballroom is going to start coming to life. I think we're going to see a lot more construction here, a lot more construction. And I'm excited to see what the president's been thinking about as far as the West Wing goes.
Yeah, we get a lot of guests at the White House. We got to have the place nice and shined up for him. We also had Steve Cook in the White House this past week announcing a bunch of jobs coming to Kentucky. Tell me about what this means and also the reaction from the liberal press, because Donald Trump said he was going to bring these jobs back to America and everybody laughed at him. Yet we're seeing time and time again, Trump is executing on the promises he made.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned two great names here, Chris. You say Steve Cook, you've got Stephen Moore, and you've got Tim Cook. So both of those guys came to the White House.
My fault.
No, you're good, because both of them were talking about how many more jobs are going to be coming back to our country. You have $100 billion more investment from Apple, bringing the grand total to $600 billion, which will bring in thousands of new jobs, thousands of more plants for manufacturing, which on top of the tariff revenue that we've been getting. will really keep the country hot, as the president likes to say. And then you've got economist Steve Moore, who came to the Oval Office and kind of called in the press last minute, unexpectedly, touting these numbers, these jobs numbers, and just showing graphics. Okay, here's what it was like under Joe Biden.
Yes.
It's very, very low. And then here's how much the nation and the average American family has grown under President Trump, whether that's with jobs, whether that's with wages. And these are all positive signs. I mean, this is just 7 months, Chris. Just imagine what could happen over the next 3.5 years, how much growth, how much more growth, how much, average families can take home so much more. Unfortunately, under the Biden administration, people were struggling. I remember seeing the reports that families were living paycheck to paycheck, just trying to make ends meet, whether that's saving up for food or got to save up for rent. Rent was going up. So he really provided us a glimmer of hope. And I can't even imagine what the liberal media was really thinking in that Oval Office, because the proof is right in front of you. How do you dispute that? And I'm sure they'll always try to find a way to fact check it, quote unquote. But at the end of the day, the numbers speak for themselves. There's a lot of growth in this country.
Yeah, you love to see it. Full disclosure, I think I've been seeing Steve Cook all week.
That's okay. It's a Friday. My brain's kind of like, oh.
We're talking to White House reporter Monica Page. She joins us every week at this time. She's one of the best, and she always highlights a story that the mainstream media isn't giving enough attention to. What should we be focusing on that the mainstream media is not?
Well, Chris, you've heard of Alligator Alcatraz. Now get ready for the Speedway Slammer coming out of Indiana. I think that is my favorite story, and one that's not really being highlighted enough. The immigration services were really trying to ramp up their recruitment. They were saying, okay, we need 10,000 applicants, but that number has exceeded. They have received over 80,000 applicants to be an ICE officer, to take on this role. And they say, hey, listen, anybody can join, physical fitness would definitely help because this is not an easy job, but send over your applications. We're taking anybody and everybody. So I think that's really exciting. This new Speedway Slammer is going to house, I believe, 1,000 more beds. I know that Border Czar Tom Homan really wants to have 100,000 beds. So he's not going to stop until that number is reached. And the Speedway Slammer is going to, I believe, be put up just as quickly as Alligator Alcatraz. So we could see that coming in the next couple months, I think.
That's awesome.
They'll process and deport as quickly as possible. The fast test. That's why they call it the Speedway.
All right. Well,
exciting.
Full disclosure, we want one of those prisons in Tennessee, and we've been crowdsourcing the names because we love the nicknames. So I know you're super connected. If you can float towards Tom Homan, Graceland Gulag or the Honky Tonk Lockdown, those are some of our favorites here on the Chris Hand Show.
Graceland Gulag.
Isn't that good?
I was thinking if they do one in Texas, they can call it Texas Hold'em.
Oh,
I would like that.
I like that too. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Monica Page, she joins us live from the White House North Lawn. How can we keep up with you over the weekend and get all of your reporting, Monica?
Thank you so much, Chris. You can find me on X and Instagram at Monica Page TV. Chris, you do a great job. You always have a great show, and thank you so much for always having me.
Likewise. Really appreciate you, Monica. It is 10:22. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
his support on the Federal Reserve Board. We'll tell you what he's just done. Also, a warning for users of Instagram. That and more coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'll give you a warning for Instagram right now. I've been posting stupid dope reels at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I'll follow
You've
back.
been active.
I've been active. I got activated.
You got activated?
I got activated. Do you see the EBT one I did?
Yeah, I did.
That's good. It's good.
It's pretty good. I definitely recommend checking it out.
People are accusing me of fake news. Did you see that? I got accused of fake news.
Ooh.
You know who hit me up?
Who hit you up?
Joe Bob from Turning Point Tonight.
Nice.
He said this reel is abhorrently dishonest, and he said it's because the woman is not 5'3". She's at least 5'5".
At least.
Head to my Instagram page if you want to know what I'm talking about. At Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. I promise. At Chris Hand on Air. We were just talking with our White House reporter Monica Page, and she had mentioned the job numbers from Steve Moore. And that happened yesterday at the White House. President Trump is sitting in there, and this was during Purple Heart Day, and he also had an economist come on in. And Stephen Moore revealed that actually the Biden administration inflated their jobs by 1.5 million. Remember when they were like, do you have evidence to fire the BLS numbers lady? And they're like, well, the revisions are the evidence. Like, look at the revisions. They revised down 818,000. Like, that's really all the evidence we need. And they're like, yeah, but we were looking for like evidence. And it's like, okay. Well, yesterday, President Trump at the White House brought some receipts. And he did so by having economist Stephen Moore join him. And economist Stephen Moore broke down that the numbers are actually far worse than we anticipated. What was originally deemed as 818,000 revised down, actually, they corrected the record. It wasn't 818,000. You conspiracy theorists. It was 1.5 million.
Yes, George. Thank you, Mr. President. So I called the president because I had some very good news from some new data that we've been able to put together that no one has ever seen before, and I'll just very quickly go through these. So I was telling the president that he did the right thing in calling for a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this shows that over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the BLS overestimated job creation by 1.5 million jobs. That's
a lot. That's Mason? You fact check that for me. 1.5 million job overestimation. Is that a lot?
Let me check. Hold on. Oh, yes. That's quite a bit.
That's a lot. Yeah. I had feared that it was a lot.
Unfortunately, it is a lot.
Oh, damn.
Mr. President, that's a gigantic error. And I don't know if I'm not
Might not have been an error. That's the bad part.
Yeah. Facts. Hashtag facts. It might not have been an error.
If it was an error, it would be one thing. I don't think it's an error. I think they did it purposely.
Whether that, you may well be right, but even if it wasn't purposefully, it's incompetence.
Right.
Facts. Mr. President, you may be right. You may be right that the Biden administration purposefully lied and inflated these numbers. You may be right. But even if you're wrong, the sheer incompetence in the number is enough of an indictment against the administration. Like, even if you take the silver lining, the Democrats did nothing wrong. All the Democrats do is play by the rules, and it was a happy little accident. Hashtag Bob Ross. Even if it was a happy little accident, it is sheer incompetence. And we were dealing with that sheer incompetence for 4 years. Things have changed drastically in this country, rapidly. And thank you to President Trump for getting us back on the right track. Again, according to Stephen Moore, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics under Biden deliberately overstated these employment gains. Trump said it was part of a broader effort to mask the economic struggles faced by American families under the Biden administration. And I think that I tend to agree with President Trump. After everything we've seen from the Biden administration, yes, I do believe that they inflated these numbers purposefully and with a clear intent to make their economic picture seem a bit rosier than it was. But like any good conspiracy, all it takes is about 6 months for us conspiracy theorists to be proven right yet again. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Don't forget, 11:05, we're going to have Paul Winkler joining the show to break down one of the latest executive orders that was signed by President Trump. You can now add real estate and crypto to your 401k. What does that mean? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Paul will join us at 11:05 and break it all down. In the meantime, China. Have you heard of them? Have you heard of China?
China?
Do you know what they're doing? They're locking down their citizens. Huh.
Interesting.
Lockdowns back on the menu. We'll talk about that when we return. 10:30. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
China.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. President Trump has named a top ally to the Federal Reserve Board.
He did announce that he would be nominating one of his top economic advisors, Stephen Mirren, to temporarily fill a vacancy over at the Fed. He is a Trump loyalist. He's been a vocal supporter of the president's tariffs. And of course, all of this comes as the president continues to criticize the current chair of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, for not lowering those interest rates.
ABC's Rachel Scott, meantime, during an Oval Office appearance at the White House called a major announcement on the economy, President Trump brought up senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation, Stephen Moore, to present more numbers on jobs created.
I was telling the president that he did the right thing in calling for a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this shows that over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the BLS overestimated job creation by 1.5 million jobs.
And a new Instagram feature is causing some confusion and concern among its users.
The Instagram Friend Map lets users share their live location with a select group of friends, rolled out this week, but it did have some users worrying about privacy and security. The head of Instagram is clarifying that you do have to opt into this feature. It will not automatically share your location. Your location will only be shared if you choose to share it, and that if you do, it will only be shared with a group that you choose.
That's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at United Structural Systems. We talk about these guys all the time, and if you're dealing with waterproofing or foundation issues, they've probably already popped into your mind as the company you need to call, and you're making a right choice. USS has helped over 30,000 homeowners across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky with their waterproofing and foundation issues. Now, a lot of times they'll get to the house and they'll say, man, had you called us 6 weeks ago, this problem wouldn't be as bad as it is today. And maybe you find yourself in that situation where, yeah, sure, it rains and you get a little water in the crawl space and in the basement, but it'll dry up and it'll go away, and sure, it will. But when the rain comes back, so does the problem, and that problem's not going to stay small. That water's going to lead to mold, wood rot, foundation issues, and if you're seeing that kind of red flags at your house, really what you need to do is call USS. USS is going to send an expert to your home to fix the issue. They're not going to send a sales guy worried about the quota. They're going to send somebody worried about the waterproofing and the foundation issues. That's how they've stayed in the game for 30 years, and they've stayed in the game with warranties that last. They stand behind their work. The warranties are good for life. Even if you leave the home, the warranty can stay. That's the difference between USS and the rest. If you see the signs, don't wait. Call United Structural Systems today. 615-488-7855. That's 615-488-7855. Or find them online, ussTN.com.
his support on the Federal Reserve.
$10:38, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch the show. Super Talk TV, we're up and running. I think I'm going to stop saying the other ones. I think I'm just going to focus on YouTube and Rumble. What do you think?
They're the big ones. They're the best ones.
All right. We're on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like and subscribe. Super Talk 99.7 on YouTube, 997 WTN on Rumble. Why they're not uniformed, it's above my pay. It's above my pay grade. I'll be perfectly honest with you. But I was in the YouTube chat during the commercial break.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, shout out to Matt, listening at the Glock store.
Let's go.
He said we're listening at the Glock store. Keep up the good work, straight fire. And so then I responded. I said I appreciate it, Matt. If y'all need something that goes pew pew, head to the Glock store. And then did you notice I included some emojis?
They're just kind of weak.
Dude, I thought the same thing. So I looked for a gun emoji.
Yeah.
And the best that I could get on YouTube was a super soaker.
Really?
We used to be a proper country at a time, didn't we?
Didn't we used to have revolvers?
We used to have revolvers for emojis. And it does. It infuriates me. It infuriates me that we don't have proper emojis in this country. We got a pregnant man if we need one. We got that. I could drop.
You betcha.
I could drop a pregnant man in there. Right? Some people, well, listen, some people do debate whether that emoji is a pregnant man or if that emoji is Bill Gates. So there is a bit of dispute on what they were going for. But I want the gun emoji. I want the gun emoji.
Give me my guns back.
Yeah.
Second Amendment.
Yeah, Second Amendment.
Digital or in hand.
Up to and including memes and emojis. Like,
not a squirt gun, a real gun.
I know. Well, if you want something less lame than a super soaker, you can get it at the Glock store. my kids would be like, super soakers aren't lame. All right. If you're over 8 and you want something great,
that's right.
You go to the Glock store. All right. That's what you do. That's what you do. And again, apologies to everybody in the YouTube chat for the weak emojis. I did my best. But sometimes that doesn't cut it.
I think the only emoji I know how to use is the thumbs up.
Yeah. Hey, it's a reliable one.
It's reliable. It's reliable. I usually do the OK sign. You know, then you get accused of being a racist, and that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Remember when they did that? You know that OK meme. You know that started on 4chan, right?
Yep.
They said, what can we make racist that would make people upset that isn't racist? And somebody said, let's do the OK symbol, right, and we'll say it's a W and a P for white power. And then the media ran with it.
Not going to lie, though, I started doing it as all the fingers together for OK, instead of doing like that is how I do it. Instead of fanning it out like that, just
my favorite was
my go-to now.
After the media started saying that was racist.
Yeah.
They said, holy cow, we had no idea there were this many white supremacists in the NBA. Because anytime they make a three, they put it's a weird fact. It's like, yeah, you got white supremacists in the WNBA, and you got personal pleasure devices being thrown at the WNBA. It's a crazy world we live in 2025.
Wild, Wild West.
It's unbelievable.
Wild West.
So I got an update on China.
On what?
China. That's the one. Maybe you've heard of them.
China?
Yes, sir. Hit it again one more time.
Update on
China.
That's right. I don't really know what to make of this story, but I want to bring it over to you guys, and we can talk about it. What the hell's going on in China? Well, China.
China?
Yeah, that's the one. China, they've started locking down their citizens again. Huh. That's strange. That's weird. Why are they locking down their citizens? Well, I'll tell you why. It's mosquitoes and it's chikungunya fever. I nailed that one. It's fun to say, and I practiced. Chikungunya. Lockdowns in effect in China. This is how Fox News broke it yesterday.
Tonight, a viral outbreak in China prompts the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, to issue a travel warning. More than 7,000 cases of this disease have been reported so far. State Department correspondent Jillian Turner has details tonight, live from the State Department. Good evening, Jillian.
Good evening, Brett. The CDC, as you mentioned, is warning Americans traveling to China about chikungunya. It is a virus that spreads to humans through infected mosquito bites. It can cause severe illness with symptoms that mimic pretty closely dengue fever and Zika virus, mostly found in Africa. Here's what the CDC says about it. They say most people infected get better within a week. However, some can have severe joint pain for months to years. Other symptoms include severe fever and fatigue. The outbreak now is in the Chinese province Guangdong. It's near Hong Kong, with more than 7,000 cases reported so far, prompting some pretty dramatic measures to contain the spread.
Yeah, the dramatic measures are draconian COVID lockdown era policies. Now, that sounds awful, just to be perfectly honest with you. Chikungunya disease will give you migraines, muscle swelling, all that. It could go away in a few months. It could last up to years, which is awful. They say it mimics dengue. Dengue, my mother-in-law got that in the Virgin Islands from a mosquito. She said it was so awful, right, that she couldn't sleep unless she was sitting up, and she'd have to put her hand under her chin and sit there. And that's how she would fall asleep. And she said that it was so crazy and so painful, she could feel her hair growing.
That's awful.
That's how she explained it. And it was like painful. She could painfully feel her hair growing.
Weird.
It sounds awful.
Yeah,
it sounds awful.
Atrocious.
All that being said, that was dengue, right? Which they say chikungunya resembles dengue. I don't know much about chikungunya. I don't know anybody that's gotten chikungunya. But dengue, awful. That being said, they're going into full COVID draconian lockdown. And I just want to go on the record and get this on tape. I will never submit to another lockdown in this country. Ever. And I will speak out against it and scream from the top of my lungs how destructive the COVID-era lockdowns were for this country. We never need to live through it again. And I will speak out against it ad nauseum if it ever comes here. And I want to be on the record early that if anything like this comes here, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. And even if this company was like, please stop talking about that, I'd be no. Because what we're seeing in China with the chikungunya is massive lockdowns already.
Like mandatory insect repellent blasts for people entering the area, mandatory property checks for stagnant water, which attracts mosquitoes, and when found is now punishable by fines or even arrest.
If you happen to get this, they're quarantining you in hospitals with mosquito netting and not letting you out for a week. These are the kind of draconian responses we saw with COVID. We're seeing it again.
The CDC says Americans traveling to 8 other countries are also at elevated risk of exposure to the virus, even if there is no current outbreak.
So, if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you'll see a video that's on the screen, and it highlights the other countries. One of the countries that's highlighted at a higher risk for chikungunya is Brazil, okay? Now, this is a coincidence. This is such a happy little accident. We were talking about Bill Gates earlier with the emoji that you can get for him on your iPhone. But Bill Gates, fun fact, has been funding crazy mosquito experiments in Brazil, which is one of these countries with a higher risk of a chikungunya outbreak. Now, again, this is obviously just a happy little accident and a total coincidence. But it has nothing to do with the mosquito outbreak in China, obviously. But I do find the coincidence a bit peculiar. This is how they describe Bill Gates's mosquito factory in Brazil.
I'm Scott O'Neill here in Medellin, Colombia today.
Colombia.
And I'm at the world's biggest mosquito factory for the World Mosquito Program. We're making in here 30 million mosquitoes a week. Come and have a look. We're doing it for a very serious reason. Cities like Medellin have suffered from diseases like dengue, Zika, chikungunya for decades, but not anymore. We've been able to bring the solution of Wolbachia mosquitoes to this city. When this bacteria called Wolbachia gets introduced into the mosquito, it stops their ability to transmit dengue. We release mosquitoes that have Wolbachia, and then they go and mate, and Wolbachia gets passed into the wild mosquito population. If we're going to control these diseases in all the tropical cities of the world, it's going to require a lot of mosquitoes.
So they've been releasing about 30 million mosquitoes a day in this area in Colombia. Just a coincidence. Total coincidence. Total coincidence. There's another coincidence. Do you ready for the next coincidence? I have another coincidence. A vaccine was approved for chikungunya in 2025. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. Yes, vaccines against chikungunya exist, though they're not widely yet available. 2 have been authorized in the EU and approved in 2024, and 1 has been authorized in early 2025. In some regions, vaccines are recommended for travelers to outbreak zones. Chikungunya isn't a new virus. It's been around since the mid-20th century and reemerged periodically across the globe. This current outbreak, however, is new to mainland China, caught many off guard, particularly because local immunity was low. The vaccines have only just been approved, so there's no immediate mass immunization underway, but you're seeing preventative measures in China. You're seeing lockdowns. You're seeing a bunch of mosquito spraying happening. And again, I'm sure that all of this is just happy little coincidences and have nothing to do with each other. There's no correlation whatsoever. But I do want to be on the record. If anybody tries to push lockdowns in America over mosquitoes and chikungunya, I'll take the chikungunya before we take another lockdown. That's just me personally. If you feel the same way, let me know in the YouTube chat or on the text line. I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind if they ever brought a lockdown back here. I don't think they will. I hope that Donald Trump, isn't going to allow anything like that to ever happen again. I feel like he would lean towards no lockdowns just because of the catastrophic results that we saw after the last ones we did. But just something to be aware of, something to keep your eyes on. They are getting back to COVID-era policies in China, outside of Hong Kong, because of this outbreak. Something that we're definitely going to keep our eyes on here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, a good Samaritan in Middle Tennessee this morning lost his life. In our nation's capital, another victory in the courts for the Trump administration. And a line of plush toys in huge demand, so much so that thieves recently broke into a California collectible store and focused on and stole actually everything. Traffic. Where am I? What time is it?
I think you were as distracted as I was by the plush toys.
I think that's what.
Was it Beanie Babies?
No, it wasn't Beanie Babies.
I got so many of those left over from the 90s, Ken. So many.
Anyway, I might even have some traffic coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Let's go. Full service. Ken Weaver's back in the newsroom. Whatever you need, he's going to make it happen for you. Whatever you need.
I'm turning as red as my shirt.
That's hilarious.
My ears are burning.
Have you seen what's going on with EBT online?
No.
7 states have gotten waivers to eliminate junk food from SNAP benefits.
Oh, yeah, yes.
People are not happy about it.
Oh, really?
People are not happy about it at all. Many people very upset. They can't get their sweets. And somebody said you can just go to the baking section and get flour and sugar and eggs and have whatever you want, actually.
You actually can do that.
Yeah, spoiler alert. That's what you could do. We'll talk about that in a little while in the lightning round. Also on the way, 11:05, Paul Winkler is joining us. Maybe you've heard of him, Paul Winkler Inc., the Paul. He's my finance guy, and I got questions for him. President Trump yesterday signed this executive order that is paving the way for assets such as private equity, cryptocurrency, and real estate to be added to 401k retirement savings plans. Now, the order directs the Secretary of Labor to re-examine the Department of Labor's guidance on fiduciaries' duties regarding alternative asset investments in the ERISA, government 401k, and other defined contribution plans, and to clarify the Labor Department's position on alternative assets and appropriate fiduciary process associated with offering asset collection funds containing investments in alternative assets. If that confuses you as much as it confuses me, then welcome. Well, welcome to the club. This is why I have a guy that I talk to that can break this stuff down for me in a way that we can understand. This is why I got Paul coming on the show. I don't really know what this means. I don't really know if this is a negative or a positive. Paul's going to break it all down for us at 11:05. Plus, he'll give us an overview of what he thinks is going on with the economy and any questions that you might have for Paul on the economy. You're more than welcome to chime in. You can get those questions in on the text line, 615-737-9986. You can drop them in the YouTube chat if you'd like, or you can even call in. That works as well. Paul's going to be joining us at 11:05. We're going to talk about this executive order. Also, I just come across my desk, Donald Trump has authorized military action, military force against drug cartels. Oh, huge fan of this, actually. President Trump's top priority is protecting the homeland, which is why he took the bold step to designate several cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. President Trump has reportedly ordered the Pentagon to begin using military force against these drug cartels that have been deemed terrorist organizations under his administration. Now, this is why we have to take it with a grain of salt. People familiar with the matter revealed to the New York Times. So it's the failing New York Times with the story, but broke clocks could be right twice a day. So let's keep our fingers crossed and let's pray that this is real. Anna Kelly, a spokeswoman for the White House, told the outlet when asked about Trump authorizing military force against cartels that President Trump's top priority is protecting the homeland, which is why he took the bold steps to designate cartels and gangs as terrorist organizations. Sources said that U.S. military officials have begun preparing options for how to go after these designated cartel groups. Per the outlet, the directive is focused on U.S. forces directly capturing or killing people involved in the drug trade. Definitely a story we're going to keep our eyes on here at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. On the way, after the news with Ken Weaver, which may have some traffic also.
It might have anything in it.
Well, you never know. It's a. You ever remember like the convenience store? You get a grab bag as a kid.
Yes.
It's like $3. You don't know what's in it. That's what we got with the headlines on the way with Ken Weaver. Paul Winkler joins the show right after. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got a crash right now in Williamson County that's going to be causing quite a backup. It is stop and go starting at Saturn Parkway. Right lane is blocked by this crash. 65 northbound just past the Thompson Station Road overpass. Then here in Nashville, got a crash 65 southbound right there where it turns into I-24 at exit 88. Full forecast in 5 minutes. Speaking of crashes. Had a Good Samaritan lose his life in Rutherford County this morning. Shelbyville Highway now reopened after that deadly pedestrian crash shut it down for hours in Christiana. The Tennessee Highway Patrol says 86-year-old Jerry Smotherman was run over by a 2013 Chevy Malibu while he was helping people in another crash. The driver of the Malibu is not expected to face charges. The investigation continues. In our nation's capital, by a 2-1 vote, a 3-judge appeals panel has blocked an effort by a lower court judge to initiate contempt proceedings against the Trump administration over the deportation of alleged members of Tren de Aragua. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
In April, D.C.-based District Court Judge James Boasberg started criminal contempt proceedings, alleging the administration willfully ignored his order to turn planes around before alleged Venezuelan gang members landed in El Salvador. But now, 2 Trump appointees on the D.C. Circuit Court say Boasberg went too far. Circuit Court Judge Gregory Katsas said Boasberg's actions raised troubling questions about judicial control over core executive functions. And Judge Naomi Rao accused Boasberg of a clear abuse of discretion.
Those Venezuelans are now back in their home country following an extraordinary 3-country prisoner swap last month. Labubu. That's a line of plush toys in huge demand. So much so, thieves who recently broke into a California collectible store focused solely on them. ABC's Sam Champion has more on the product.
The Labubu blind box can retail from $20 to $30. You'll see them online, sometimes selling for 3 times that price or more. A rare Labubu, some of them have resold on that second market for as much as $10,000.
Now, these toys sold worldwide by the China-based toy maker Pop Mart are now a billion-dollar industry.
It's an Labubu?
Labubu.
Labubu?
Yeah, Labubu.
Perfect. I just want to know what I need to say no to when the kids ask. Thank you, Ken.
A new Instagram feature causing some confusion and concern among users. Here's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis.
The Instagram friend map lets users share their live location with a select group of friends, rolled out this week, but it did have some users worrying about privacy and security. The head of Instagram is clarifying that you do have to opt into this feature. It will not automatically share your location. Your location will only be shared if you choose to share it, and that if you do, it will only be shared with a group that you choose.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
1106 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Really excited about our next guest. It's my finance guy, Paul Winkler, joining us live on YouTube and Rumble and on the FM dial. What's up, Paul? How are you, man?
Brother Chris, how you doing, man?
And I'm excited to have you on the show because I have no idea what this news means.
Yeah.
I'm very, very confused, and you're the guy that breaks this stuff down for me. So let's lay out the story, and then I want to get your instant reaction, okay?
Sure.
Yesterday, Donald Trump signed this executive order, and it's paving the way for crypto and alternative assets to be added to 401k retirement saving plans, okay? The order directs the Secretary of Labor to re-examine the Department of Labor's guidance on fiduciaries' duties regarding alternative assets investments in ERISA-governed 401k and other defined contribution plans, and to clarify the Labor Department's position on alternative assets and the appropriate fiduciary process associated with offering asset allocation funds containing investments in alternative assets. This is why we have you on, Paul. Can you tell us what that means in English?
Yeah, in English. So a lot of people, they go to work for a company and they don't know what to do with their investments, so they just choose defaults like target date funds or asset allocation funds, which is just a fancy term for it's investing in different areas like bonds and cash and stocks and typically things like that. Traditional investments, that's what it is. Now they're saying, hey, we're going to let you do these other things. And that's where this stuff is appearing, is in asset allocation funds and target date funds. That's where they're actually going to be doing that. And so that's just it. It's just opening up. Wall Street is like crazy excited about this because they get to charge more now, because these typical assets cost a lot more to hold. So, they've been having this price war where fees have been coming down and down and down and down. And now they're like, hey, how about if we offer this thing and then we can charge more for it? They're excited about it for that reason. As far as for the investors, I'm not terribly excited. And, there are two sides of this.
Okay, tell me.
Number one, if we look at the pros, we say we live in America. We're free to make mistakes. We're free to make decisions on our own. And that is kind of the idea. Maybe a pro of this was people will learn a valuable lesson when they screw up and they invest in these things. Number one. But the other issue is that, government has never really, this isn't anything new. Government has never really protected people from their own dysfunction. Now, if you look back through history in the 1960s, they had the Tronics craze. If you threw Tronics at the end of the name of your company, it was good for a boost in your stock price.
Okay.
And then you had energy stocks, and then you had bonds in the 1980s, then you had the tech bubble, then you had the real estate craze, and you have meme stocks. And so government never really has protected people, but this is just another level of that with private equity and, private equity and collectibles and those types of things being held in 401ks. I'm not a big fan. I'm really not a big fan of this at all.
Is there any way that this helps your average investor, though?
Not really. Not in my humble opinion. No. So if we look at collectibles, we look at, let's say, Bitcoin or gold or silver or anything like that, there's no cost of capital. There's nobody paying you to use your money. And that's what investing is by definition. Somebody has to be paying you, and there's no payment here. Number one. Number two, the other issue is that, like, if you deal with private equity, there is payment for the use of money, but there's a thing about private equity that's a big, big problem. I did a study, and I did this on the radio show, and I went through private equity, all the open funds out there through Morningstar's database. And what I found is that if you looked at 10-year, 5-year, 3-year, 1-year performance in every time period, you actually had an underperformance versus the S&P 500 with private equity investments. And you go, well, what the heck is going on here? Why? And the reason is private equity is what? Private. So when I buy a public stock, let's say I buy Apple or I buy Amazon or I buy, Walmart or, just pick any company, I know what to pay for that company. I know what to pay because I kind of know what the earnings are going to be because all that information is public. I can get access to it. With private equity, you don't have that information. And that's why they like it, is because they don't have to give out any kind of information. So you don't know what to pay for it. So that's the problem you run into with these things. If I look at stocks, the price of a stock, this is going to get a little nerdy, but the price of a stock is the present value, or what the present value is of all the future earnings that are going to come in. So, if I say that I'm going to give you, Chris, I'm going to give you $1 1 year from now. and I'm going to give you $1, and the rate of return, I think, is going to be about 10%, seems to be a reasonable amount of return. And that's all I'm going to give you. You'd be willing to pay 91 cents right now to receive $1 a year from now. That's basically the present value of that dollar a year from now, right?
Okay.
Now, if I don't know what the earnings are going to be because we don't have any information, I don't know what to pay for it.
Right.
And if all of a sudden now you have these 401ks and you have all this money coming out of people's paychecks going into private equity or private investments, now Wall Street's going, yeah, man, this is great. We're going to get a bunch of access to money. And what that does is it reduces the cost to use your money because they've got access to more of it. So what does that do to future returns? It reduces them even more. So you see that this is why I'm not a big fan of this kind of stuff.
So, and we're talking with Paul Winkler, who's my finance guy. He hosts the investor coaching show every weekend here on Super Talk. It's a great place to start learning. That's actually where I first found you, Paul. And me and my wife would listen to your show. But you manage a lot of 401ks. Are you going to be using the private equity, the real estate? Is that something that you're going to dive into and try and find a positive benefit? Or are you going to stay far away?
Not at all. I'm not going to use it at all. And now, real estate, if you look at the real estate part of this whole thing, if you think about it, when you own companies, Ray Kroc, McDonald's, he basically was asked, hey, you got a hamburger company? He's like, no, I don't have a hamburger company. I've got a real estate company.
Side note, the founder about that, the founding of McDonald's, underrated movie with Michael Keaton.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah,
It's
that's
so
a great
good.
watch.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, super, super good. So if you think about it, when you own stocks, you have lots of real estate in your portfolio already. Why do I need to load up on it? And this is private real estate. So now we're dealing with more uncertainty in that. But I don't even hold real estate at all in a 401k. And then private equity, no, I don't see any good reason to own that either. People say, oh, it's a diversifier. And I'm like, well, if you look at matter of fact, there's a really good article in the Wall Street Journal. And Jason Zweig wrote this, and it was, you're invited to Wall Street's private party, just say you're busy. He went through the data, and it was like, yeah, I totally agree with him on that. I don't think that the data is compelling, and the problem is you just have something else in your portfolio. You don't know what the heck it is.
So what's the thought process behind the executive order then? I've heard rumors on the internet that private equity is in big trouble. Is that part of the thought process behind this? What's the rationale, I guess?
Well, think about it. If private equity is in trouble, why is it in trouble? Because the returns aren't that great, maybe? Maybe that's a problem right there. You have this concept of an accredited investor. And the idea behind an accredited, you hear hedge funds. People hear about hedge funds all the time.
Right.
Hey, the hedge funds, and these people are really, really wealthy and blah, blah, blah. Well, hedge funds charge a ton of money. They have this 2 and 20 rule, so they charge a 2% management fee and 20% of gains and stuff like that. Well, an accredited investor is all who can invest in these things, which means it's a wealthy person. And what I joke about on the radio show is the reason that accredited investors exist is because basically Washington or the government says, hey, you know what? These people have enough money that they can afford to lose it. It's not great. So if we look at the idea of opening this up to the public, now you have a whole group of people, and maybe it's possible that wealthy people are getting onto this and they're going, maybe this isn't so great. And now they need more access to money. But in reality, what they could be doing is saying, hey, you know what? There are other ways to raise money. Let's look at going public and, actually become more public, because the number of public companies have been shrinking. But yeah, it's not, I'm not compelled to jump into this in any way, shape, or form.
Well, what are you going to do then? With the state of the economy where it is, what's your assessment of it, and what moves are you making to get the greatest returns?
Yeah. So number one, I don't make moves based on what I think is going to happen in the future. We look at this year so far and we say, okay, we have a president that came in and says, let's make America great again.
Yeah.
And nobody in their right mind would think that the highest performing area of the market so far year to date would be international small distressed companies.
Yeah, it's
They're
really
up
weird.
like 30%.
Why is that?
Yeah, why is it? Is it partly, and it's been said that maybe part of it is that Europe is going to have to defend themselves, and defense stocks are up as a result of that. Is a result of just, when I was studying at AFAMA, the guy I studied under who won the Nobel for economics, this is back in the late 90s. And he says, to diversify, you need these areas. You need small companies. You need large companies. You need international small value. And he made that point in the classes. And we were looking at him going, Professor Fama, you've got a 5-year return of that area of the market of zero, nothing, no return. Are you crazy? And he goes, well, that you're assuming that area of the market won't have to pay to use your money going forward. And that is not a good assumption. The reality of it is that could take off. And it did. He was right. I mean, not that he was betting that was going to happen, but it went up fourfold over the next 10 years, where large U.S. stocks did nothing. So that in and of itself, you look at international companies and say, why is it that area is doing well? Well, you say, well, because for the past several years, they haven't done anything. And maybe it was just their time. And you can't predict this stuff. And that's the problem with most investing, is really trying to predict the future and figure out what's going to happen next and make moves based on it. And I look at it and go, you have no idea. If I go back 60 years, 60, 70 years, and I say, well, what was the return of large U.S. stocks? It shocks people when I tell them the return was about 10% per year. Go back 40 years. Now, 40 years, we're looking at $10,000 growing to about $500,000. You're trying to get a higher return than that when you're playing around with these strategies. You take the same $10,000 and put it in small U.S. stocks and international as well. You're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1 million. And you go, well, why are people complaining? Why do they want access to something more than what they're getting access to right now? And my contention is that they're saying, I want a different vehicle because the vehicle I've been using, my experience in the stock market has been bad. And my contention is the reason your experience has been bad is you've been trying to time the market. You've been trying to engage in, what they call fundamental analysis, stock picking, trying to figure out which company's better than others. You've been pulled by tech stocks. You've been pulled by oil stocks. You've been pulled by energy stocks. You've been doing all of the wrong things. It's like you're driving a car, and every time you get to a traffic light, you run the light. Of course, you're going to have accidents. You break the rules. And that is one of the rules of investing, is not to engage in those things. And yet this order is allowing people to do more of that. But I'm just going to say that, this isn't anything new. I'm not going to say, hey, Trump's terrible for doing this. I'm not going to say that, because the government has never protected investors. The idea of a fiduciary is the idea, hey, you know what? We're going to be a fiduciary. We're going to keep your best interest first. And the standard is so stinking low that it is so bad that I'm looking at it going, this doesn't help anything, because what constitutes prudent investing isn't actually happening. And people can still call themselves fiduciaries. It just drives me crazy.
We're talking with Paul Winkler. He's my finance guy. He hosts the investor coaching show here every weekend on Super Talk. What grade would you give the Trump economy thus far?
I think there are a lot of great things going on, really. I think a lot of exciting things going on. Now, that doesn't translate to necessarily higher returns in stock markets or anything like that. And that's a mistake people make. They think, oh, good economy equals good stock market. Because you had, during Obama, remember, you had a terrible economy. And yet the stock market was raging hot, did really, really well.
Say the same thing about Biden.
Yeah, sure you can. Yeah, no question about it. So, you look at it economically and go, yeah, there are a lot of exciting things going on. There are some scary things that can be offsetting. And a lot of people out there are going to go, yeah, AI, what's it going to do to my job?
Yeah.
Is that a possibility? And there is a transition process. You've got to go through that process of moving from the way things are. Anytime you have new technology, it's disrupting, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what a lot of people are going through right now. But, I think overall there are a lot of really good things going on.
When you see $17 trillion of investments coming into this country, as an investor, what does that signal to you? Does it signal anything?
Well, it's interesting you say that, Chris, because there was something the other day talking about, I forgot what company it was, and they were talking about half a trillion was supposed to come in, and they only had only 100 billion, but there wasn't as much coming in, so it really, the time will tell how much actually comes in. And you and I have had this conversation before where I said, hey, who's going to work these jobs? That's one of the things that I'm wondering about. And maybe AI is going to be the savior when it comes down to new jobs that are created where we don't have the people to fill them. And maybe that and technology and productivity things, equipment and machinery and things like that are going to be developed and brought to the United States. So that's really where I think is exciting. And change is always exciting. I look around and go, wow, people get scared about change. I look at it as opportunity.
Yep.
I'm a hopeless optimist when it comes to that.
Well, Donald Trump has given a lot of reasons to be optimistic about the future of the American economy. We're talking with Paul from Paul Winkler, Inc. He's my finance guy. I appreciate you taking some time today to come on and break down that executive order. How can we get in touch with you and keep up with you, Paul?
Yeah, so paulwinkler.com is the website, and people can jump on there. They go, hey, we got 10 offices around town. They can jump on with a 15-minute phone call with their people. And then my book is on there, Confident Investing. Confident Financial Planning is another book that I have on there. We got all kinds of stuff out there. Videos, tons of audio, and then they can sign up for the podcast as well.
Well, Paul, I really appreciate it. Looking forward to your show tomorrow, as always, and thank you for stopping by the show, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, brother Chris. All right, bye.
That's Paul Winkler. It's 11:22. We got lightning round on the way and more. Hang out with us. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand talking about the Glock store again. I'm not going to get off on an emoji tangent about how we don't have good gun emojis. I won't do that. If you're looking for a good gun, though, you do need to go down to the Glock store. Today, most of your guns are going to come optic ready right out of the box. Glock calls it MOS. That's Modular Optic System. But what if you got your Glock before optics were the big thing? It doesn't mean you're left out, and it doesn't mean you need to buy a new Glock. Lenny McGill has your back when it comes to all things Glock. And out of their 16 CNC machines at the Glock store, 3 of them are dedicated to cutting Glock sides precisely to fit the red or green optic of your choice. And they can do it in 10 days or less. And if you drop it off at the store, sometimes it's a lot less. And unlike the optic-ready Glocks, which rely on an adapter plate, this is going to sit lower, be more secure, and be more accurate. Glock Store's already done this for over 20,000 customer slides, and every single one of them has been perfect. Also, if you've never shot a Glock with an optic, remember, only $6.99 will get you a 10-round sample pack, and you can shoot a Glock with either a Holosun or Vortex optics. Those are 2 of the most popular brands. That's only at the Glock Store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, always open online, glockstore.com.
Good Samaritan in Rutherford County loses his life. Metro schools say they are reviewing dismissal protocols and enforcing those procedures after a 5-year-old autistic student was mistakenly placed on a bus home. And the WNBA asking the arenas in which they play to tighten security protocols. This story and more at 11:30. A Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The WNBA. I don't know why, but it's like my favorite thing happening right now. One of my favorite things. And every time it happens, I just feel like we're so back. We're so back. Is that bad?
Oh, it's something else.
They're going to tighten security.
I saw a video of a guy, this may be too much, doing a joke, and he was going through security, and they checked his bag, and they were like, why'd you let him through? He's obviously got something in his bag. And he's like, dude, the bag was empty. I don't know what's going on. And he goes, he must be good. So they let him go through there. All right, enjoy the game. And it cuts to him from behind, and he's waddling. Like he's got something.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Awful.
Also I got a rabbit hole for us this weekend, boys.
All right.
You were talking about the Labubu dolls.
Labubu.
Andy texted in. He said, here's a rabbit hole for your weekend. The Labubu dolls are demonic.
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
Have you? Okay.
Seen a couple TikToks about it.
I just got into this rabbit hole. I'm really at surface level still.
Yeah, I'm still very surface level.
You've dove
I know,
deeper.
I haven't dove into it. I've just seen a couple clips on TikTok talking about it.
What did you learn on the TikTok?
It's there's some stuff out there talking about that they might be attached to like ancient rituals and stuff like that.
That's what I'm seeing too.
And people are taking like, so I don't know what TV shows made fun of like things like this in the past, but they take an idol, they slap a different name on it, and then they sell it to people as like I think it was on The Simpsons where it was like, yeah, here's this toy for kids when it's actually a demonic effigy.
All right, here's what I found. This comes from Reddit, which obviously it's
reliable as all get out.
Huge news source. Yeah. It said, Labubu is the creation of a famous artist from Hong Kong who received inspiration from Norse mythology.
Ooh.
And his loves for elves and stranger animals for his 3 Nordic fairy tale picture books, Where Live the Monsters, which are both good and evil. The most famous one is Labubu.
Labubu.
A small monster with high pointed ears and serrated teeth. Well, I mean, listen, if people are already robbing stores for these, demonic influence confirmed.
Yeah, definitely involved.
Definitely, 100%.
What is it about this stuff, man? That people just lose their minds over? They gotta have them.
What do they look like? Has anybody seen a picture of these things?
I've never even seen a picture.
They're a little creepy.
Oh,
looking.
yeah, dude, they are creepy. Oh, they do look demonic. Here, put it on the screen.
Labubu.
Put it on the stream. Put it on the stream. This is for all y'all at YouTube. That definitely looks like a fuzzy little devil.
Yeah, just a little bit. I do want to throw this out. How did people react when Furbies came out?
Ooh, I don't remember.
I do remember. Yeah, people thought those were. They thought they were demonic too.
Yeah,
they pretty much were.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's a trend that follows.
They would speak.
Yeah, those ones were weird. I have seen videos online where it's like, hey, no batteries in that thing. It's been put away for years, and a kid here's talking from its closet.
Ah!
And it's like, what's going on? And they go in, and it's a little Furby. Just its mouth is a little.
Nope.
It's clacking. It's making noises. It's like, find me.
I'm passing. I'm passing on all that.
Nope.
I'm passing on the Labubu. No Furbies allowed. I might just go on eBay and look up a Teddy Ruxpin. I think that's the route I'm going to take. It's 11:31 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers in Williamson County, you've got the right lane blocked, 65 northbound past the Thompson Station Road overpass. Looks like this is from a truck fire from earlier, actually from last night. I guess this thing is still blocking the right lane there. Stop and go traffic starting at Saturn Parkway. And then north of downtown Nashville, we got a crash, right shoulder block 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. A full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Last night in Rutherford County, it appears a Good Samaritan lost his life while he was trying to help some people who were involved in a crash. All lanes of Shelbyville Highway had to be shut down in Christiana for about 4 hours this morning while The investigation played out. The sheriff's office says this pedestrian was run over and killed while he was trying to help people involved in that other crash. The driver of the car that ran over the pedestrian apparently not going to face any charges. Metro Schools says they're reviewing dismissal protocols and enforcing those procedures after a 5-year-old autistic student was mistakenly placed on a bus home. Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac says it happened on the first day of school at Ida B. Wells Elementary.
Zontrail's grandmother says he is nonverbal and he was supposed to be picked up by his parents. Instead, a teacher mistakenly put a bus tag on his backpack, and that sent Zontrail on a bus ride that ended on 7th Street and Howerton near Meigs Middle School, where he then wandered off alone.
The bus driver had a conversation with him, but he didn't get a response. But so Zontrail got off the bus and proceeded to walk down the sidewalk. When you didn't see an adult, you should have just called the school or taken him back to the school.
She says he was reunited with family after an officer found him near a playground.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:36, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners. Why would you need that?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
That's a reason. BetterWater.com. Love those guys.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Love those guys. You know what I just spent? You know what I did the entire commercial break?
What'd you do?
Just been staring at Labubu's.
You better stop doing that, Brother Hand.
Yeah, I could see you scrolling on your screen. I was like, what are you doing?
I'm still sharing the screen.
Yeah.
I'm still scaring. The internet now thinks Labubu dolls are possessed. Conspiracy theories around the demonic Pazuzu connection erupts. Who's Pazuzu?
Oh, gosh. I don't know.
Well, we are getting into a rabbit hole.
We are.
I mean, they look like rabbits. We might as well follow them down.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe that's by design.
Oh.
Who's the demon Pazuzu? That's what I want to know.
Make sure Ian's not checking our search history here.
Oh, he'd be really shocked if he sees what I'm looking at. Pazuzu. Pazuzu is a Mesopotamian demon. Okay, get that right, you bigots. It's from Mesopotamia.
This ain't no Aztec. Sorry.
A Mesopotamian demon, primarily known as the King of the Wind demons.
Ah.
It's perfect.
I mean, they look identical.
Perfect. He is a complex figure, both feared and revered for his ability to both inflict and ward off harm. He's got two sides. There's two wolves inside this demon. Pazuzu is associated with the destructive forces of nature, particularly the winds that bring famine, drought, and disease. However, he's also invoked as a protector, especially against the demon Lamashutu, who is known to prey on pregnant women and newborns. So, I mean, if you're going to have a demon in the house, Pazuzu is definitely going to be an upgrade over Lamashutu.
True.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could always use a cool breeze in my house. I'm just saying.
I'd be nervous, especially with all the NATOs that we get around here.
True.
I don't like dolls. Dolls freak me out.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. No. Can't do that.
Even this little Labubu kind of freaks me out now.
I'm a little freaked out.
Yeah, little spiky teeth.
Getting colder in here? Is that just me?
You're in a separate room. I'm going to let you stay there. You're the one searching demons by name.
You know those old school dolls that, when you move them, their eyes slowly open and close?
Oh, I hate those things.
No, sir.
Well, my mother, when my oldest daughter was really into baby dolls, she got her like one of those really real looking baby dolls.
Yeah.
Way too creepy.
Yeah.
Way too creepy. Like, she would be pushing around in a stroller at the grocery store, and like people would think that we were letting a 3-year-old push around a real baby. You know that people do this stuff. Like, they'll go to like there are women who voted for Kamala Harris, obviously, and they'll go to like fake baby conventions.
Hate it.
It's really weird.
I don't like where this is going. I don't like that at all.
No, they do that.
No, I know. It's just weirds me out.
Yeah.
See, we're in that rabbit hole.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Somebody said, can you spell the doll's name? Can't find Labubu on Google. It's Labubu.
Labubu.
Do you think we're not doing the demon's work, are we?
We probably need to stop saying the name.
All right, start the lightning round.
Hurry.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
All right, glad we're done with that. Let's get back to the news of the day, boys.
Yes, sir.
It's time for the lightning round. We'll talk about all the stories that you got, stories that we missed, stories that couldn't fill a whole segment, all the things. Any hot takes, ice cold takes, whatever you want to say, anything we talked about or didn't talk about, you can weigh in during the lightning round. 615-737-9986. The announcers didn't want to reference what happened at the WNBA game, but if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you'll see what was number 4.
A 10-0 start in the third quarter. This guy had 3 turnovers.
And as you can see, both the refs are pointing at each other. Neither one of them want to pick it up.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to either.
That would be the last thing I'd want to do.
You see one of them look at it and go, oh, no.
Again, there was a huge difference, though, this time. This one was purple.
Oh.
We're switching it up.
Getting creative.
Switching it up. I don't think this is going to stop anytime soon.
I don't either.
This is, you have individuals buying tickets to WNBA games for the first time just to do this.
That might be good for the WNBA.
Part of me thinks that it's secret marketing.
Oh, it's a setup.
That's the
double cross.
The tinfoil hat in me. You want a rabbit hole for the weekend? The WNBA is in on this, 100%. The big power brokers in the shadowy rooms, and the WNBA said, we need to do something. Beating up Caitlin Clark didn't work. The Let Her Cook campaign backfired. What can we do? And one brilliant man, obviously, it was obviously a guy, obviously, said, I know the thing. And they said, all right, deal. Said, we don't have any other ideas. We don't have any other ideas. The Athletic, The Athletic, big sports magazine.
Yeah.
The Athletic blasts misogynistic WNBA dildo throwers for denigrating women. Well, they're getting some clicks out of it.
Yeah.
This is how Breitbart reports it. With the dildo pranks still occurring on courts across the WNBA, The Athletic has jumped onto the controversy to blame misogyny and accuse men of denigrating women. I think that's a bit premature. How do we know it's not women throwing these things also? Sure, one man has been arrested, but we don't know. He could have been white knighting for the lady next to him that threw it.
Yeah, he took the
fall.
Took a stand for her.
He took a stand. Maybe. I was of the opinion that most of these PPDs, the personal pleasure devices, were purchased by women. So I think it's premature. It's premature to blame men.
Who knows?
I just do. I think it is. It's hilarious, though. At the end of the day, this may be one of the funniest things happening in America right now. And every time it happens, all you see on Twitter is guys quote tweeting it and going, oh my gosh, we are so back.
Hayes gets blocked by Maya Caldwell. Something flies on the court, actually, from the crowd. The officials will say they will continue play as that goes off the fingertips
They will continue missing threes and layups.
of the Valkyries.
And you can see the object, the block right there. And the object comes, that green thing bounces, and it goes to the sideline. We're not exactly
It bounces and
we're
wobbles.
not sure where it came from.
Nobody knows.
Well,
No room for any of that type of activity.
Yeah, and no one's picked the object up yet. You guys, oh my gosh.
Nobody wants to
what
see
a
the guy.
close-up.
Yeah, did you see the close-up?
No blur or anything.
No
just
blur.
there.
Oh, if you're watching on the YouTube stream.
Can we get away with that?
Yeah, I think so. We're covering the news.
Yeah, it's the news.
This is a news story.
It's on live television.
On live TV. Well, where do they air these games?
PBS.
PBS. Is that what they're doing?
They do it ABC, ESPN.
I've never seen one on TV. Probably not going to start. I actually might start.
See what Mike Mitchell said in the YouTube chat?
No, what did Mike say? Am I allowed to read it?
I don't know if we're allowed to read it online.
Let's see. Mike Mitchell. Yeah. It should become a thing, Mike. It should. If you want to know what Mike said, you got to jump in the YouTube
Just
chat.
tired of all these gates.
Oh, hold on. There was another one. Here we go.
Oh, look out. Something just came onto the floor.
Oh, look out.
Got an object that just flew in as the free throw was being
missed.
It's a UFO, an unidentified phallic object. Oh, that's a P.
That's a P.
Dang it, I tried.
Words are hard.
Welcome to the Chris Ann Show. Words are hard.
Words are hard. Got another story for you here in the lightning round?
No.
Don't worry. We'll get back to serious topics. Like this one. New York is spending $65 million on a transgender homeless shelter. Told you we'd get back to serious news.
But you won't believe what they're doing now. Now, you may remember the Big Apple dished out millions to launch safe injection sites for drug addicts. For example, over $700,000 went to vending machines filled with needles and condoms. And the city paid the Pakistani government $220 million to house illegal aliens at the posh Roosevelt Hotel.
It's true.
But now the city is unveiling its latest investment, a homeless shelter called Ace's Place, which they're calling, quote, the country's first ever city-funded shelter dedicated to serving and supporting transgender and gender nonconforming individuals experiencing homelessness.
So that's $65 million well spent in New York City. It's called Ace's Place. I don't know why, but immediately the Ace of Spades pops into my head on account of none of these individuals will be able to reproduce. So there's that.
And the price tag for taxpayers? A reported $63 million per year.
Oh, I was wrong. That's way more reasonable. I said 65. Let me issue a correction.
Yeah, at least we're bringing the cost down.
It was $63 million. So there's that. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. Democrats are upset. Democrats are upset. Breaking news. Breaking news.
What?
Democrats are upset.
Obviously.
What are they upset about?
I don't know. What are they upset about, Chris?
Well, they're upset that Tim Cook, not Steve Cook, like I've been saying all week, Tim Cook decided to do business in America, and they're bringing jobs to Americans. So this one leftist, who I can only assume spends a lot of his days with a man bun, he's calling for a boycott on Apple.
Burn every Apple product, sell every Apple share, remove everything Apple from your home. Apple is dead.
Because they're bringing 20,000 jobs to a state with Democratic leadership? Yeah, pretty much.
Apple products are dead. Apple is over. Do not buy Apple. Do not share Apple. Do not support Apple. Apple is over.
Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you. Apple's over. Guys, everybody, we're Droid people now.
Well, we're switching over to the Pixel.
We're switching. I would switch to a Sidekick if T-Mobile could get their act together.
Just as long as it doesn't mess with my farm town on Facebook.
I listen, I don't think anybody would be silly enough to mess with you there, Ken. But this is what you're seeing on the TikTok.
Man,
people are mad. Democrats rooting against the success of Americans once again.
Man, I just bought my new iPhone too.
You should return it. You should return it.
Should I?
Yeah, dude, they're giving jobs to people in Kentucky. We can't just sit idly by. We have to do something.
What makes me laugh the most? Sorry.
We can't have this.
What? We can't allow this anymore. People are going to get paid by this company. This is ridiculous.
No!
What makes me laugh, he's like, get rid of them, destroy them. I'm like, you already gave your money to them. What's the point of destroying them now?
Treat them like Hillary Clinton treated her cell phones after she got a subpoena. Get rid of them with a hammer.
I'm in danger.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon immediately. That does it for today's edition of the Lightning Round. I do appreciate you guys joining us wherever you have joined us. We'll have a lot more content up on the stream all weekend long. Myself, Dan Mandis, a new episode of Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris. That drops tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. on YouTube. We had one comment last week's episode that said, this is like Saturday morning cartoons for adults.
Dude, yeah.
I love it. This edition is going to have a lot more swearing.
Yeah.
It wasn't Minor Dan's choice. Dan read all of the hate mail that he's been accumulating over the past few months.
Some aggressive stuff in there.
Really aggressive stuff. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Like, some of the letters, I think you should turn into the FBI. Honestly. Dan didn't do that, though. He's a brave guy. Braver than I am. I probably would have quit. If I got some of these emails, I would have ran away.
Yeah.
I would have ran away. Just me. Dan's a lot braver than I am. That episode drops tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. If you hit the little bell on the YouTube page, you'll get a notification as soon as it becomes available. And we appreciate you watching, liking, and subscribing wherever you are.
We got the podcast and Monica Pages coming up at noon tomorrow as well.
All right, bet. We got a lot of stuff, man. Go find the YouTube page, hit like and subscribe. We appreciate you, and we'll check in with Chad Benson, see what's coming up on his show when we return on Super Talk. 11:58, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those betterwater.com. In studio with Chad Benson. I was just telling him about how we're all going to get rid of our phones like we're Hillary Clinton with a subpoena because of the Apple boycott that's sweeping the nation.
Oh, no.
You didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Well, listen to this soy boy.
Every Apple product, sell every Apple share, remove everything Apple from your home. Apple is dead. Apple products are dead. Apple is over.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much true anyways.
Yeah, done.
So Apple's already on the struggle bus. They've lost tons of share. They're getting their butt kicked everywhere. And, that's just, well.
You love the protest?
It's a protest I don't have to worry about because I don't have
you don't have to do anything. You're already doing it. No. You're doing great. You're doing great. But it's Democrats just rooting for the country to fail. Constantly.
Well, anybody that works with Trump or says hi to Trump or whatever.
It's bringing 20,000 jobs to a state with a Democrat governor.
Well, I don't think Andy Bashir is leading this.
Yeah, but Trump is evil. Orange man bad.
Orange man is bad. What'd you talk about?
What did we talk about today? We had Paul Winkler on to talk about the new Trump executive order and breaks things down. Oh, yeah. Did you hear about the Labubus?
Yes.
But did you hear about them?
The Labubus.
They're demonic.
I didn't know they were well, yes, I've been told they were demonic.
They're demonic, and we're pretty shook here on the Chris Hand Show about it.
Who said they were demonic?
Everybody.
Really?
So, yeah.
You know, Reddit, our best source of all.
And Reddit is the front page of the internet.
We quickly confirmed it, though, with a Google search. So
they are demonic.
Yeah. I mean, look, here, put it up on the screen.
How do you know which demon you get?
You're going to get Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
We dug into it. We confirmed it. He's a Mesopotamian demon. Don't get it. Don't say he's an Aztec demon, all right? You don't want to get labeled.
No, because you know what? I don't want any kind of cultural appropriation.
Do that.
Mason cleared that up earlier.
You want to be whitewashed.
He's primarily known as the king of the wind demons, which is a terrible decision,
that is a bad
especially
decision.
around this area.
That is a bad.
So
what if it's just people have gas? We're breaking wind. Oh, here comes the wind demon. You're out of here today, right?
Yeah, I'm jumping on a plane. I actually might start doing that if I drop a toot. I might look at the kids and be like, "Oop, let out a little Pazuzu."
It's a wind demon.
Let out a little Pazuzu there, baby. Yeah. I'm gonna go jump on a plane, go reconnect with my wonderful family out there in Virginia, and then we're gonna drive home on Sunday.
Right on, man.
Yeah, man. Chad's in next. 12:01 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.